Hey, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Russell of Hotels going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know what it's all about. Today is Tuesday, so that can only mean one thing: on air with Russell of Hotels. You know that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Tuesday. In fact, what is it? Tuesday, where's the date? Tuesday, September 30th. Okay, today is Tuesday, September 30th. This is show number 315. Wow. You know what? Who would have thought? I was back doing this when podcast was like 100% audio. There was no video podcast. Now there's video podcast, right? Video meaning you can see me. But back when I first started, there was no Facebook Live had not even come out yet. Okay, then after Facebook Live, all these other platforms started coming out. I don't know why I'm saying all that, but I just thought 315 shows. I mean, people think that was maybe not that long ago, but yeah, it was that 2019. Yeah, so that's when I started doing this whole thing. But anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Like I said already, every time I do one of these shows, either on air with Russell of Hotels or the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels, I'm always going to showcase a hotel. And today I'm showcasing the Ambrose Hotel, which is in Santa Monica, California, which is near Los Angeles for people that are keeping score or maybe geographically challenged. I mean, it's within LA County or Los Angeles County. From where I live, it probably takes me, well, some days it takes me maybe 15 minutes to get there. Some days it can take me an hour and 15 minutes to get there. It just depends. But I don't think it's 10 miles. I don't know if it's 10 miles from the house. Maybe it's about 10 miles. I'll say maybe it's about 10 miles. But Santa Monica sits on the coast, sits on the water. Although this hotel is not on the water, I don't think you can even see the water from there. But it's in a residential area. It's right around the corner from Santa Monica, like the medical center. There's a lot of stuff going on in this area, right? Just a lot of things going on. It's, in walking distance to shopping, to restaurants. And that's, hey, that's what I like, right? That's what I look for. But anyway, so I'll be showcasing this hotel today, 77 rooms, okay? Can I say cute hotel or I don't know. I don't know if that's a good word for me to use. Oh, it's a cute hotel. It's a very nice property. I don't know if I'll just say that. I don't know if very nice gives it justice. Cute, does that? I don't know. Anyway, we're live. We're live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube. Okay, so if you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, well, shame on you first and foremost. But make sure you do, because you can make comments in real time if you're on YouTube with me, right? So if you follow me on YouTube, we're connected on YouTube, or you subscribe to my channel, please do so, and then that way you'll get notifications every time I'm about to go live, because I go live at least 5 times a week for the daily check-in, which is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then, of course, this show on air with Russell of Hotels that comes on every Tuesday at 1 p.m. No time. I don't have a time slot on the other show, Daily Check-In. I just do the Daily Check-In. Normally it's between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. I mean, that gives you a wide range. But if you subscribe to my channel, it doesn't matter. You get the notifications whenever I go live, right? And it's based on time, right? So there you go, based on my time, basically. So this is the monologue part of the show, meaning I'm just making sure everything is working. Of course, I'm talking, but I'm making sure everything is connected. You can hear me, you can see me. I have my notes and everything together. My notes keep falling. I don't know what that's all about, but that's okay. And then just as a reminder, hey, IMAX is next week, right? So a lot of people are doing IMAX, which is in Las Vegas. Shout out to those people that are going to IMAX. International people that will be going as well. I'm sure they're on their way, or maybe they're there already. I'm not sure. Show starts on, I want to say it starts on Monday, this coming Monday. So I'm sure people come in early because they have to set up. I mean, some of these booths are just outrageous, unreal, and a lot of work to put together, right? So yeah, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be one of those things where you see a lot of people you haven't seen maybe since the last IMAX, or maybe you had meetings with them, during the year, and it's just good to connect with people or reconnect, or maybe people or maybe destinations and people, hotels or whatever that you want to do business with, you can meet those people, right? You can meet and greet and all this stuff. There's gonna be parties. There's gonna be a lot of drinking. There's gonna be a lot of just stuff going on. Okay, a lot of adult fun, clean adult fun. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so it's gonna be a good. It's gonna be good. It's held at the Mandalay Bay. That's where IMEX is. But people are staying all over Vegas because some people are hosted, meaning people like myself, which meeting planner, meeting professional, hotel site selection people like I am. A lot of us get hosted. I chose not to be hosted this year. I just want to come in and kind of do some things on my own. I don't want to be regulated to a schedule. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do my thing. Okay, so I'm gonna see, because this is the first time I've been without being hosted. Every other time, I think I've been 5 times, and 5 times I've been hosted. So this will be my 6th time, and I'm not being hosted. So one thing I'm gonna miss not being hosted is that, what is it called? The hosted buyers lounge, where they have food and drinks, and you got, the Wi-Fi bar, and, where you can, plug in and all that kind of stuff. That's one thing I'm going to miss, right? So, and you can't get in there, okay? If you don't have the right kind of badge, you're not going to get in there. It must say hosted buyer, okay? And if it does not say hosted buyer, they won't let you in. I seen someone get tackled because they thought, they could get in there, and the security guy tackled them and just escorted them out. I mean, it's serious stuff, okay? If you're not a hosted buyer, and I'm joking about that, okay? Somebody out there like, oh my God, it didn't really happen. Russell said, Anyway, the comments are open, but make sure if you're making comments, well, if you want to do them in real time, just go to YouTube. Do the comments in real time, because the platform I use, and I've been thinking about changing the platform, because my platform, Ecamm Live, does not interact with LinkedIn, okay? Like StreamYard does, okay? So I may change. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna do the StreamYard thing, because I went with StreamYard initially several years ago, and I was getting bad connections, and I would lose people, meaning I'm doing an interview with someone's on my show doing an interview, and all of a sudden it would just bleep, and they'll be gone. And I'm like, I can't have that. It happened to me twice. And I said, I cannot have that. So hopefully they've changed it. And, I've been using it a little bit here and there. But so we'll see. But for now, today, and for the, foreseeable future, go on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Like and subscribe to my channel, Russell of Hotels. And you can make comments in real time, and it'll pop up on my screen. Okay, there you go. That's all I wanted to say. All right. So once again, this is a monologue. Let's see, what else did I have to say? Oh, small and boutique meetings. Okay, so IMEX is next week. Starts on Monday. Okay, I'll be there all week. Well, not all week. I think I leave on Thursday. I don't know if I can last in Vegas that long, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best, right? And then small and boutique meetings, which is a North Star event. I'll be there the following week. So yeah, I got a busy, and then at the end, I'm like, I got too much going on. I got too much going on in October, right? And so IMEX Vegas, small and boutique meetings. That's in Knoxville, Tennessee. Then I have something in Texas or Houston. So I got a lot of stuff. And then I'm supposed to be trying to make it to homecoming in Blythe. Okay, so my homecoming in Blythe is coming up as well, which is just a Friday night. But I got to get there, right? I got to drive there. It's like 3.5 hours, and then almost turn around and come back because I have a flight the next morning. So I got stuff going on, but you know what? I say, as long as I can go to homecoming, I'm going to go. And it doesn't matter if it's your class, how some high schools are, they're regulated to, okay, well, I come down because it's my class. It's my, 20th or 30th class reunion or whatever. It's nothing for me, right? It's not a milestone class reunion. It's just because Blythe is one of those communities that people come back regardless of what class it's being celebrated. People just come back because it's like a family reunion, right? So it doesn't matter what classes, people that graduated long before you, long after you, right? And around you, right? That will be there, that that you know, either you know them or you know their families. You know, they can be brother, you know, oh, I know your brother. Oh, I know your aunt. Oh, I know your mom. I went to school with your mom. You know, all that kind of stuff, right? But Blythe, they shut the town down literally, and they have a parade that goes through the city. Or well, it's not even, I don't think it's called a city. It's a town, okay? So I grew up there, right? So I look forward to doing that, going there, because you see people that I see people that I haven't seen in a long time. They may live there. I don't know. I don't live there. Of course, I still go back and forth there. But yeah, so I got stuff going on this. I don't know why I said all that. I'm just throwing information that you probably don't even need. You probably don't even care. But anyway, this is a monologue, so I can do that. So anyway, let's get this party started. Let's get this started in here. So anyway, we're gonna do the intro, which is gonna take a couple. No, it's not gonna take a couple minutes. We're gonna do the intro and then we're gonna get the show started. Okay. So the topic for today, well, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but if you went to russellofhotels.com, which is my website, the topic's there. Just go to the blog, ding, it's there. So you'll be prepared. Okay. You'll be prepared over the other people that are not prepared. So anyway, we'll be back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds right after this intro. Hey, I love that little jingle, right? I think that's the best part of doing the show, that I get to like rock out with that little jingle. You guys can't see me. I'm dancing. I was out up doing my thing. But anyway, thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about. This is show number 315. I already talked about that, so I don't have to keep saying it, but it is show number 315. Okay, yes, I've done 315 of these shows. Do we still call them podcasts? Video cast? I don't know. Okay, podcast. Let's just say 315 podcasts I've done. 315 podcast episodes I've done. Okay, so and counting, right? So there's no end in sight, and that doesn't even count the daily check-ins that I do. That's 315 just for this show here that comes on just on Tuesdays. Now I do something 4 days a week, which is called On Air with Russell. I mean, a daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. Now, if I counted all those in, it'd be close to 1,000 that I've done. 1,000 of these kind of shows, right? So who would have thought, right? Where'd that even come from? That's the thing, where we need to take advantage of the things or the tools and the equipment that are there at our access, right? We can do whatever we want to do, not everything we want to do, but we can let people know, we can showcase who we are. Just like I'm showcasing who I am, right? Russell of Hotels, right? On Air with Russell of Hotels. But I'm also being able to showcase a hotel. So every week or every time that I do one of these shows, I'm showcasing a hotel. And I mentioned earlier, it's the Ambrose Hotel in Santa Monica, 77 rooms. So every time I change scenes, you will see a different photo of the Ambrose Hotel. So this right here is actually the entrance. So if you're coming off the street, which is, I want to say it's 20th Street, 21st Street. I can't even think. I don't know. 20th. Let's just say it's 20th or 22nd, one of the streets. So if you're coming off of that street, you go right into this kind of a courtyard area. This is a courtyard, and it's a garden area. It just has, you see the lush vegetation right there. So you're walking towards the lobby or the front door, and then once you get to that door opens, and then that's the front desk right there, right? So like I said, it's a boutique hotel, 77 rooms, real, I keep saying cute, right? I don't know if is that a good word for me to use? Someone tell me. But no, it's a very, very nice hotel. And How do I know about this hotel? See, this is the thing that kind of blew me away. Not blew me away. I have a friend, good friend, Portia Lawrence. Okay, everybody knows Portia Lawrence, right? She's now the director of sales at this property, right? So she tells me that she has this new job, right? This is several weeks ago, probably let's say a month ago, and she said, "Hey, she was interviewing for this position in which she ultimately received the job." And she said, "Are you familiar with the Ambrose Hotel in Santa Monica?" I said, "No, never heard of it." And she said, "This is what she said: You're Russell of hotels, and you don't know the Ambrose Hotel?" I'm like, "No, I do not." Russell of hotels doesn't know every single hotel in the world, okay, let alone in his own backyard. Okay, well, hey, it is what it is. But no, I was not familiar with this hotel at all. I know the hotels that are on like Ocean Boulevard in Santa Monica because that's the major thoroughfare, the main drag in Santa Monica, right? Right across from the beach, right across from the pier. So who would know those hotels? In fact, my favorite hotel on that street is the Georgian. Okay, so yeah, I know a lot of the hotels over there, but I didn't even know this hotel even existed. I've probably driven by this hotel 100 times and didn't even know it was a hotel because it actually sits on the corner, right? It has a great location right on the corner, but I didn't know that it was a hotel. So, okay, well, shame on me, lady. But yeah, so she's now the director of sales there. So, of course, I did a little pop in last week. And I think it was last Wednesday I popped in and just checked it out. And she happened to be available, showed me around, and very, very nice hotel. 77 rooms. They have a boardroom, ideal for meetings. I want to say it's probably 16 people that this boardroom will sit. So for a smaller group, it'd be great. For individuals that are traveling, transient, like say you have entertainment business in Santa Monica or whatever, perfect place to stay. Walkable area, very walkable. You see a lot of people walking throughout the day, for lunch, just a great lunch area spot, that whole area right there. So it's definitely something to see. One, it's something to see, someplace to stay, right? If you need something, you need accommodation in Santa Monica, maybe away from the excitement of the Ocean Boulevard, right? And I bet the prices are a little different. Not that Santa Monica is inexpensive because it's not, okay? But if you want to save a couple of dollars, get off of that Ocean Boulevard and you'll save a couple of dollars, right? But you're gonna have to pay for it in something else. But you know what? You'll save a couple of dollars at the hotel. But no, it's a very nice hotel. I would definitely recommend people to stay there. In fact, I'll be back. Okay, I'll be back there to show you more things. But I took so many photos. It's a crying shame. That's what my dad would say. You took so many photos. It's a crying shame. I'm like, okay, all right, a crying shame. Okay, so so this right here is actually there's a bar that would be in front of me if you could see in front of me, because I'll be facing the bar. There's a bar right there. I think I have a photo of that. And this is kind of a sitting, eating area. And then outside is a patio where the garden is, where I just showed before. But before I get to that, of course, top 50 podcasts. I'm sitting here I was talking about podcasts a little while ago. Is this a true podcast? Yeah, it is a podcast, right? So On Air with Russell of Hotels is one of those top 50 podcasts within the hospitality space for 2025. Hello. So there's 49 other people. So shout out to those other 49 other people. But, if you don't tell people, they'll never know. Okay. So you have to be, I always say this, you have to be your biggest advocate. You have to be the one shaking the pom-poms. You got to be the one like, hey, this is what I do. This is who I am, what I do, and how I can help you, right? So those are 3 things that you should always tell people. So let people know, like say, oh, you do a little podcast? Well, yeah, actually my podcast was one of the top 50 in hospitality, global hospitality. Not just here in the States, but globally. Because there's a lot of people, in fact, there's at least 2 people that I know that are international on this page that is right here. I'm on here. So just in case you didn't know, let me just blow it up. You see me right there at the bottom in the middle. That's me, okay? And then I got Pablo Torres and Paula C in there as well. So those are people that I've collaborated with over the years, doing podcasts with them. So when people ask you to be on the podcast, do it, okay? Don't even ask any questions. Just do it, okay? Because it's a way to create that visibility to an audience that didn't even know you even existed, Okay. So when Policy, who's in Brazil, asked me to come on, when Pablo, who's in London, asked me to come on, guess what? That exposes me to two different countries that I knew no one in, that now I'm connected with people, and then we've collaborated on some things, right? Just based on those two, this conversation that I had with Pablo and Paula C. So, I mean, that's what it's all about. So people kind of sleep on this whole technology thing that we have, that's basically at our fingertips, where we can just push a button. If that's from our phone, if that's from our laptop, if you got a camera, whatever, you're just pushing a button and you're talking, right? And people are seeing you. And it's creating that visual connection that we need, that, right? Especially if you're trying to grow a brand and things like that. And I talk about this stuff all the time. In fact, I'll probably talk about it again when I get to the topic. But people, I mean, they seriously sleep on, the tools that they have at their fingertips to be known, to be noticed. If you're a salesperson and you're in hospitality, you need to show people, let people know that's what you do. Remember I said you got to be the one shaking the pom-poms? You got to be the one, your biggest advocate. You have to be your biggest advocate. You do. Don't rely on, well, that's somebody else's job to do. I ask many people to be on my show, right? I ask people to come on. Hey, come on, let's have a conversation on my show. Oh, that's for someone else to do. I wouldn't do that. I can't do that. Like, why can't you do that? Because that's not me. I mean, that's not you. You're a salesperson. You go and ask people for business all the time. Why wouldn't you come on and talk about yourself? Brag about yourself. This is an opportunity to brag about yourself. You know what I mean? Well, hey, I have a hotel that's 315 rooms and blah, blah, blah. And I've been in this industry for X amount of time and started here and now I'm there. Started at the bottom and now I'm here. That kind of stuff. Why wouldn't you want to come on and do that? So it's just funny how we have this responsibility to fill up these hotels as salespeople, right? Yeah, that's your responsibility, to book rooms or to book events or whatever. Ultimately to fill the hotel, because contrary to what people think on the outside, meaning outside of the hotel, rooms is heads and beds. That's how hotels make money. Yeah, the food and beverage stuff, I mean, yeah, that's a byproduct. Okay, yeah, we need that stuff too, but at the end of the day, rooms, heads and beds is what keeps, that revenue going higher for the ownership and management company and whatever. So yeah, they look for that. That's what they're looking for. That top line revenue. Okay, so that's what they're looking for. Room revenue is what they're looking for. Guest room revenue, meaning people sleeping in the beds. And yeah, there you go. So I just thought I'd say that. But anyway, once again, top 50 podcasts in hospitality, and that's Russell of Hotels, or On Air with Russell of Hotels, which is this show, comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So there you go. And shout out to the International Hospitality Institute for that, that distinction, the recognition. Appreciate it. Dr. Jeffrey O, shout out to you. So thank you so much. So once again, Ambrose Hotel. This is the boardroom I was talking about, right? So what is that? 1, 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12, 34, okay, 14. Probably throw a couple of, let's say 16 people. 14 to 16 people that can fit in there. And it's a very nice boardroom. You can see the screen right there, or a TV or whatever, big screen, large screen, whatever. So just, it's set up for your meeting, right? Set up for you, for anything you need to do. So for the smaller groups, there you go. Those corporate groups, small corporate groups, maybe they're meeting in the area. Ambrose Hotel, in and out, easy to get in and out. So isn't that what we look for? Like as a meeting planner or as a hotel site selection person, for a small group, you know what? I'll be all over this hotel. In fact, I'm trying to find a group that will fit in this hotel now. Just as we speak, that's what I'm doing. As we speak. Okay, so this is that bar I was talking about, right? So this is the bar. I was sitting on the other side where the sitting area was. So this is a bar, and this is a small hotel. Like I said, boutique hotel, 77 rooms. So it's not overly large, but it's quaint and cute, okay? It's quaint and cute. So yeah, so there you go. There you go. Then they have a little library, which is off of this room here. And they have outside, they have like a fireplace, a fire pit outside, seating outside. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Like I said, I was just pleasantly surprised that this was the hotel that my friend was going to. So my son is just texting me, he said, "Can you take me to Stormburger after practice?" What? What is it? They give away free food? They must be. They must be for that text to come, when he's in school and I'm doing my show. You know what I mean? So, oh boy, kids. Anyway, this is one of the guest rooms, right? So this is just part of it. In fact, that's the reflection of the bed. And I have another photo of the bed, but that's the TV. That's the reflection of the bed and the TV. That was kind of cool, the way I did that picture, right? I'm a photographer. I didn't realize that. But anyway, the blog, okay? So everything that I talk about will be on my blog. So go russellofhotels.com. Just hit the blog button, bing. So the topic that I'm discussing today is already on the blog. So you can check it out, see what it is. I'm only going to address three of those things. I think there's like 5 things in the topic, but I think I'm only going to do 3 today because, this is quick. It doesn't have to be that long, right? I'm trying to, move things along. But if you're interested in all of them, of course, go to the blog, russellofhotels.com. All the information is there. And then check out the website too. Just go Russell of Hotels and you can see everything that's there, information. And it's a work in progress where I'm, putting some things, adding some things, changing some things up. But there's a lot of information there for you to check out. It's all about you perusing at your leisure. Okay, so check it out. So this is one of the guest rooms. I didn't ask how many, because this is important, right? What's the ratio of king to doubles, right? It's 77 rooms, but I don't know how many kings they have. I don't know how many doubles. So I have to ask that, and then I'll get back to you, okay? Because I just thought about that about an hour ago. I'm like, you know what? I didn't even ask, or I didn't have time to research how many kings to double, because that's important, right? Especially if you have groups that maybe you have a family-related group, like a family reunion or whatever. Or maybe it's a corporate group and they have to share rooms. I'm like, that would suck, right? But yeah, and it's always good to know, what's the ratio and how many suites. It's 77 rooms, which is a decent size, but how many suites? But this is the thing. When people tell me, like, oh, I got this job as a, director of sales or whatever at this hotel. Well, it's only 77 rooms. I'm like, not that my friend said this, but I've had this conversation with someone else, and someone said, they're at this hotel, and they said it was only, let's just say it was 77 rooms. It's only 77 rooms. I'm like, yeah, but you still have to fill those rooms up. I said, does that hotel run 100%, 365 days a year? No, it doesn't. What is it running? Well, I'm not sure what it's running. I need to find that out, right? Because it doesn't matter how many rooms. Your job is to fill them, right? So it doesn't matter how many rooms. Your job is to fill those rooms. And just because it's only 77 rooms or less than 100 rooms does not mean it's easy, okay? It's all based on what you're doing. What efforts are you putting forth, okay? What communication are you making with that community? Those are things that, how visible is that hotel, okay? That's one thing that I would address immediately. How visible are we? Do people know we even exist? Like I said, I didn't know this hotel existed. Not that I'm the measuring stick for everything, right? But I didn't know the hotel existed, right? I follow, 100 hotels here in Los Angeles on social media. I don't remember getting anything from the Ambrose that came across that was interesting, right? But when my friend got there, guess what? I do follow them now. But that doesn't mean they're still visible. That doesn't mean they're visible as they should be, okay? Unless you're running 100%, 365 days a year, you need some visibility. You need to make sure that you're doing everything you can to showcase that hotel, to let people know, to create that brand awareness, just to let people know that you are there, that you're a hotel. You have this, you have that. And who's in charge of this thing? Who's the manager? Who's the director of sales? Who's the sales manager? Who's the general manager? Showcase those people. How long has that hotel been there? It's a story there, right? Who's your oldest, the person that's been there the longest? I mean, there's a lot of things. You have a chef there, brand new chef. You do have a restaurant. I mean, yeah, we're only 77 rooms, but we do have a restaurant. We do have food service, because people that have meetings, they want to know that. And if you don't service it out of the hotel, let them know that, hey, we have it serviced through XYZ entity, whatever that is, because people want to know that. They want to know the story. They want to know that this hotel is woman owned. And I just found that out, right? So I'm like, these are interesting little tidbits that the community want to know. But if you don't tell them, they're never going to know, right? Because there's certain groups of people like, oh my God, it's women owned. I'm there. That's a story. There's something there. That's what people want. So there's a lot of things that resonate with hotels. But if we don't tell them, people are never going to know. So once again, Ambrose Hotel, Santa Monica. This is the king room. King meaning there's one king size bed in the room. So this is a double, right? One with 2 double-sized beds. Good sized rooms too. Good sized room. Very well. I was going to say very well appointed. I don't even know what that means, but I was about to say that, right? But no. The hotel, from what I understand, was last renovated in 2019. And it looks like it was renovated last year, to be honest with you. It's in very good condition, not a lot of wear and tear, very clean. And shout out to their engineering department, because I don't see a lot of things that need to be fixed, right? Because believe me, having a background in housekeeping and being a general manager, I hung out a lot with engineering, right? And I know what they look for, and I know what they're capable of doing, right? And to go to a room and see that there's not a lot of things that, like door jambs need to be painted. You get in the elevator and you look at the elevator tracks. That's one thing. One thing you can find out immediately if that hotel is clean and how they pay attention to detail. Look at the elevator tracks. Get in a hotel that has an elevator. When the door opens, look at the track at the bottom, right? See how clean it is, or see how dirty it is. That probably will give you a big picture of what that guest room is going to look like, because someone pays attention to detail. If the housekeeping director, the director of housekeeping, or housekeeping manager, or whatever that position is, if they pay attention to the elevator tracks, they're darn sure going to pay attention to the guest rooms, okay? So if you look at that and you see that, oh my God, these things are spotless, more likely that room's going to be spotless, because the standard is high. But if you look at the elevator track and there's dirt in there, there's grit and rocks, little pebbles and everything, they ain't paying attention. I'm telling you, that's just an indicator. So whenever you go, next time you go to a hotel, look at the elevator tracks. Are they clean? Okay, just check it out. Just heed what I said, listen, and just do it, and just see. Just see. So anyway, okay, topic for today. See, I'm just going off on things. But hey, I'm educating along the way, and that's what's important. That's why they call me Russell of Hotels, because I educate people along the way. Anyway, okay, the topic for today, what meeting planners are missing on, or what are they missing? Okay, so one thing that I do, because I was on both sides, right? I was on the hotel side as in operations, and then in sales, held a position as director of sales and marketing, became a general manager, went back to being a director of sales and marketing. So I know both sides, right? So, and then transitioned to be whatever, meeting professional or hotel site selection. That's what I call myself. I'm a hotel site selection expert. That's what I do now. That's one of the things that I do. So, and I always, not that I pick on the sales teams from hotels or whatever, or DMO teams or whatever, but if I do, I want to make sure it's fair. Okay, so meaning, yeah, I was on the salespeople maybe last week. Well, this week I'm on the planners. So what are they doing wrong? What are they doing, or what are they missing out on? So I want to make sure I'm spreading the love, so to speak. Okay, so what meeting planners or meeting professionals are missing? Number one, the value of secondary or tertiary markets. Too often planners default to the same big cities, meaning they go to the same cities all the time. They don't consider any other cities. They just look at the big cities. They look at Vegas, Orlando, LA, New York, just for an example. Meanwhile, secondary and tertiary destinations can offer lower costs, unique experiences, and often more attentive service. But we don't give them a shot, right? Because and a lot of times it comes to, because as a meeting professional, it may not be 100% up to you where this company and this organization where they meet, right? There could be somebody on top of you that's saying, hey, this is where we want to meet. The CEO is saying we want to meet in LA, New York, Orlando, or Vegas, okay? So it may be out of the question. But in those situations, when you have opportunities to go outside of that, take advantage of looking at different properties, different destinations, and different properties within those destinations. That's one thing that I can say that I do, because I do meetings all over they can be, I just recently did one with maybe 25 people, but then I've done some, as many as 600 people. So it just depends on who the client is and what they're looking for, right? But my job is to go to as many opportunities where I can gather knowledge about different destinations, different hotels within those destinations, right? So hence why I do a lot of the North Star, destination east, destination southeast, small and boutique meetings, destination west, or any of those other ones, right? So because it's educational, so I get to see what those destinations can provide for my potential groups or my potential clients, right? I'm learning so much about the smaller tiered cities, the 3 and 4 tier cities that a lot of people don't consider. Well, they have just as much, excitement going on there as they do in the bigger ones, and at a cheaper cost. And there's unique experiences, right? LA, there's so many things going on. Vegas, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on in Vegas. Orlando, okay, got the mouse over there, okay. You got all these, New York, that speaks for itself, right? But everyone doesn't want to do that. I understand you got to look at the lift too that's going into those destinations, because if you're making multiple connections, that may not be advantageous to some groups, right? Or it could be a cost restrictive thing. I understand that. But when you have opportunities to do, things like that, or look outside of the, outside of your box, we need to pay a little bit more attention to those secondary, third dairy, fourth dairy markets, fifth dairy. We need to look at those markets as well, or those destinations. Just like within Los Angeles, okay, we got Los Angeles County, but you got Pasadena, you have Ontario, you have Long Beach, the LBC, you have all these different, you got Orange County, you have all these different cities that are still within, they may not be in the county of Los Angeles, but they're not far from there, right? So like Ontario's in San Bernardino County, but Long Beach is in LA County. I mean, you have all these other places that you can go. You got Santa Barbara. You have, outside of San Diego, you have Coronado. People don't think about that. They think about that's all San Diego. Well, no, they have their own destination, right? That's Coronado. So a lot of different destinations that are out there that, we can pay attention to, or we need to pay attention to, or educate ourselves, because they're offering some things that these big cities are not offering. I'm just throwing that out there. So number 1 was the value of secondary and tertiary markets. Number 2, leveraging hotel sales teams as partners. Planners sometimes treat hotel sales teams as order takers. Can you take my order? I need this, I need that. I need, instead of being partners, right? Order takers, not partners. In reality, directors of sales and marketing and sales managers can help customize packages, suggest value adds, and work creative solutions. But they have to be brought, you got to bring them in the loop. Okay, you got to let them know what I'm doing, right? Don't go out on your own and start trying to do things. Just go through your CVB first, okay? I'm telling you right now, your CVB, your destination, your DMO, destination marketing organization, go through them first. Or always copy them on if you're sending out an RFP, make sure you copy them on there, because there can be rebates that the city is giving, that destination is giving. I can't tell you how many times I received some type of incentive to book something from a destination. It can be to go to parking charges or transportation costs, or maybe your reception that you're trying to do. Whatever it is, you can take that money and do whatever, or the client can take that money and do whatever they want to do with it, right? But if you don't if you don't utilize your CVB or your destination DMO, you will never know, because the hotel probably won't tell you, because they may not even know themselves, right? So always I partner not just with the hotel, I partner with the DMC, a DMO as well, okay? So just make sure we're leveraging that team, but we're letting them know what's going on. We're giving them the entire picture of what's going on, okay? We're not just giving them bits and pieces, because I don't want to give them too much information. Give them as much information, because at the end of the day, it's all about the experience for your client, right? Whoever you're working for. It's not about you, the planner. It's about your attendees, okay? And if you can do all this stuff and get some money back or save some money, why not? Who wouldn't want to do that? But you got to let people know. You have to let people know. Number 3, response time matters both ways. You know how I'm always on top of people, on top of the hotel people. Respond to the damn RFP. Give me a proposal immediately. Okay, I sent it an hour ago. Why haven't I received it? I need it by end of the day. Sometimes that's how we are, right? But just like planners, hotels need to respond quickly to. Wait a minute, what am I trying to say? Just like planners want hotels to respond quickly to RFPs, hotels need timely responses from planners to keep availability and rates secure. Delayed communication equals lost opportunities. So you want to make sure that the hotel, just like when I send an RFP, you want them to respond quickly to you. Well, they're holding, a lot of times they hold space, okay? It may be on a tentative basis, but they're holding it. And they want to know what's going on. And sometimes, you have to get back to the client, and the client, we have to meet with a board meeting if it's an association. You're going through a board meeting and all this kind of stuff, right? Well, let them know. Communicate that back to the salesperson. It has to be constant communication. It just can't be one-sided, right? So just as fast as they want that information, they want information from you as well. Okay, so make sure you're able to give that information. But if you're not, let them know when they should receive the information, okay, because that's very important. Number 4, and I've only done 3 here, but I'm gonna go just 4 real quick. I'm gonna go the next 2. I got 2 more to go. Social media visibility post-event. Planners put so much energy into planning, but often miss amplifying the event on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Those posts not only highlight the success of the program, but also strengthen their brand as professionals. Post things. If it's okay that you post things on your site, then do it, okay? On LinkedIn. You don't have to show photos of everybody, faces and all that stuff, because some companies are put out by that. And I understand that. But you're just showcasing the success of this program. It don't even have to be successful. You're just showing some people having a meeting. Hey, that's enough, right? Because people are going to equate that with success. Okay, oh, Russell just had a meeting. Okay, in San Francisco. Okay, I see all these people. He must have had 600 people there, right? You can show the back of people's heads looking at a screen or something like that, or in a general session. There's a lot of things you do. The meal service, the wait staff, whatever it is. You can show those photos, right? So make sure we take advantage of this social media, because you may want other clients. Other potential clients may be following you on LinkedIn or your social media platforms. It's all about that visibility that people tend to forget. It's all about visibility. Number 5, experience over logistics alone. Many planners nail down the logistics, the rooms, AV, food and beverage, but overlook the experience factor. Attendees remember how they felt, not just the agenda. Unique local elements, wellness touches, or even culinary storytelling can elevate an event from ordinary to unforgettable. And that's what you want. Bottom line, meeting planners sometimes miss the bigger picture, that their role isn't just to organize, it's to create memorable, visible, and brand building experiences. That's what it's all about. If you can do those things, boop, you're golden. So anyway, so there you go. Once again, all 5 of those are, is it 5? Yeah, all 5 of those are actually on my website. Of course, I normally only go through 3 of them, but something got into me today. Okay, so please forgive me. But yeah, so just go to my website, russellofhotels.com, go to the blog, all the information is there. So the next, 1 through 5 are on my blog. So go ahead and check that out. Who's hiring? Now, every week when I do this show, I always, just kind of showcase who's hiring. And remember, that these are only in the greater Los Angeles area. These are not in New York. So if you're watching from New York, no, I'm not showing anything. I'm not showing jobs that are in New York, okay? I need a drink of water. Water, for anyone doing a podcast, water is a podcaster's best friend. Okay, just so if you didn't know that, now you know, because you may get a little parched, or you get something in your throat, you're like, doing all that. Well, you need some water for that, right? So make sure if you're a podcaster, you always have some water with you. Water and a napkin, because sometimes you have to, that kind of thing. So you never know. You never know. Okay, so who's hiring? Excuse me. Okay, the Cambria Hotel, LAX, which is in El Segundo. LAX, which means it's an airport, kind of airport hotel. It's near the airport. LAX stands for Los Angeles International Airport, just for people that did not know that. But El Segundo is the next town that's, south of the airport, okay? So they're looking for a director of sales, and that's the Cambria Hotel, LAX, right there on Sepulveda, I believe. Yeah, it's on Sepulveda. They're looking for a director of sales. Holiday Inn, Hotel, Motel, Holiday Inn. Remember that song? If your girl starts acting up, then you take her friend. Remember that song? Come on now. Every time I hear Holiday Inn, that's what I think about. So anyway, Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn, LAX. They're looking for a director of sales and marketing. Okay. Now that position's been open. I've heard about that position being open because someone had called me and asked me what I thought about that hotel. I said, well, I know the location. It's right there on the corner of it's on the corner of La Cienega and Century. So Century Boulevard, there's a lot of hotels on Century Boulevard. That's the major thoroughfare going into the airport area. Okay, so that's Holiday Inn is an airport area hotel. It's about 400 rooms, but it's kind of away from where the other hotels are. So in that area, it's a little different. I'll just say that. It's a little different area over there where that Holiday Inn is. But from what I understand, they've renovated the hotel internally. And I haven't been in there in years, but I'm very familiar with the location. But they're looking for a director of sales and marketing. So check that out if you're interested in that. Residence Inn in Glendale, which Glendale is located about 15 minutes. Is that north of Los Angeles? They're looking for a general manager. The Courtyard and Town Place Suites by Marriott, which is in Hawthorne. Now I know this property because I've actually put business in one of these hotels. I can't remember which one it was. But it's in Hawthorne, but it's right off the freeway, right? Right off the 405 freeway. Not too far from where the airport is. So not too far from there. I can't think of the street. Maybe it's Hawthorne Boulevard. But you can see the hotels from the freeway. And it's like it's maybe like 3 hotels together. And there's a Courtyard, Town Place Suites. They're looking for a dual property general manager. So they're all separate properties, but I guess there's one general manager that will handle both the Courtyard and the Town Place Suites, they're both part of Marriott. So that kind of makes sense. And I'm not sure who manages or who owns those hotels, but I love the location and I love those hotels over there. And I put a couple groups in. I want to say it's the Town Place Suites. I put a group in. So yeah, so I like that hotel. Millennium. I was gonna say minimum. Millennium Biltmore Hotel, downtown LA. They're looking for a director of sales. And then Casa, downtown LA. That used to be the Ace Hotel. I'm not sure if you guys remember the Ace Hotel. It closed or rebranded. Well, it rebranded a Casa. Now, a Casa is and this is the only way I can kind of describe it, tech-enabled hotel / apartment brand. So they run it, it can be like an apartment, but it's run like a hotel, right? And there's basically, you're on your own for parking, you're on your own for food, all that kind of stuff, right? So you check in yourself, it's self check-in, self check-out. So there may be like an attendant there, meaning someone at the front desk. There may be even a general manager there, and they have engineering, of course. But you don't have there's not a lot of opportunities to have conversation with people. You basically do everything on a text message. They give you a number that if there's issues or if you need extra towels or something like that, of questions, you text them and they'll respond via text. So it's tech enabled. Okay, so you got your smartphone, smart TVs, everything's like that. You got probably high speed internet in every room. Like I said, parking, you're on your own. So when you get there, a lot of people just take an Uber, especially if you're flying in LAX. I would suggest you do Uber or Lyft to get there, or Waymo or whatever to get there. And then you're on your own, right? So you don't have to worry about parking. You just go in the building. Your smartphone is going to unlock your door for you. All those kind of things. So it's kind of cool. But if you're someone that needs a lot of things, if you're needy, if you're a needy traveler, Casa is not the place for you to be, okay? Go a different route, okay? Casa is not your friend, all right? So yeah, but it's an interesting concept, and I only know so much about it is because the Ace Hotel transitioned to this. So I had a friend that actually worked at the Ace Hotel while they were transitioning from Ace to Casa. So yeah, that was funny, huh? So once again, Cambria Hotel LAX, they're looking for a director of sales. Holiday Inn LAX, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing. Residence Inn in Glendale, they're looking for a general manager. Courtyard and Town Place Suites by Marriott, they're looking for a dual property general manager. Millennium Biltmore Hotel, downtown Los Angeles, looking for a director of sales. And Casa, downtown LA, they're looking for a director of sales as well. So there you go. And remember, those are in the Los Angeles area, okay? Not anywhere else, okay? So we're almost done here. We're running down. We're on the countdown. So this is the kind of the living room or library area. I mean, there's more books there on the other side. But yeah, so this is kind of this little sitting area. And it's kind of like I said, kind of living room / library, little quiet area, if you will. You get that free Wi-Fi because believe me, I was there with the free Wi-Fi. Okay, so they have that too, and even works outside. Okay, so in the patio or the courtyard / garden area, it works out there too. So that's what I did. So anyway, Ambrose Hotel, Santa Monica. Remember, 77-room hotel. On Air with Russell of Hotels. This show here comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. That means in Los Angeles. So just make sure you tune in. And if you can't tune in, it's okay if you can't tune in live. Just check out the replay. Just catch the replay. It's okay. I'm not gonna hold it personally. Of course, I would love for you to to come on and make comments and all that kind of stuff and just watch it live. But that's okay. I understand people busy. Shoot, man. People ain't got time for that. And I ain't mad at you, okay? So just make sure you tune in or whenever you can. Just know that it's a new show every Tuesday, 1 o'clock. So today's show is 3:15. Next week's show will be, guess what? 3:16. You're right. So, okay, so we're almost done. We got one more to go. Boom. And of course, that's the front desk. So that's the front desk area. Basically, 2 terminals, small area, because it's like I said, it's a boutique hotel. Once again, very nice hotel, 77 rooms, located in the heart of Santa Monica. Any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me, russell@russellofhotels.com. That is my email. I answer all emails, providing I get them. Yeah. So any questions? If you have questions you want to call me, that's fine. Just go to my website, russellofhotels.com. My phone number is there, right? I'm not gonna give it to you here, but if you want to go, you got to work for it. You got to work for my phone number. Okay, just go to my website, russellofhotels.com. My phone number is there. I'm on every social media platform. You can send me. You can slide into my DMs. You can send me a message on LinkedIn, YouTube, IG, Facebook, whatever you want to do. I'm here for all of that. So that's it, I guess, right? I think that's it. Yeah, we made it in about 55 minutes, so we got like 5 minutes to spare. So once again, IMEX next week, the week after, small and boutique meetings. Yeah, we got a lot going on here, right? So I look forward to seeing people at IMAX, and yes, I'll be doing some creating some content. This is creating content too, right? So I'll be creating some content on the floor, right? And that was another reason why I didn't want to be hosted, because if you're hosted, you're regulated to do certain things, right? You have to do certain appointments, or a certain number of appointments. I mean, it's up to you who you meet with, but you have to do a certain amount of appointments, and then there's some other commitments, right? Go to our reception, go to our dinner. I mean, that's a hard life, right? They're forcing you to go to dinner with them, okay? Yeah, it's a hard life. I understand, right? But I wanted to be able to create content when I wanted to create it, on the fly kind of thing. That's because that's what I do, right? So there you go. So if you're there, you see me, and let me know that you saw me on here and I was gonna be there, and just come say hi. That's all you gotta do, right? So anyway, that is it for now. Thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. I don't take it lightly that people actually will watch the show and they have comments about it. And when I see people are like, hey, I've been watching your show, it's kind of cool. How long you been doing it? 315 episodes. Oh my God, I can't believe that. When did you start it? I love those. I love that interaction when it does happen. So keep it going. Keep it coming. So that is it. Have a great day. Happy Tuesday. Remember, tomorrow is Wednesday, hump day, and I'm doing, the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. So remember, daily check-in, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, on air every Tuesday, and that's it, right? So yeah, I need 2 more days. I need to do something to 2 other days, on Saturday and Sunday, but I just post on that day, right? I'll post certain things. So there you go. That is it. Have a great day, and as always, peace.